This is Paleac, and I'm making another sound design tutorial. This one's going to be focused on building sound design machines where you can input some sort of idea or sound or sample, and then it's just going to spit out variations and different sounds out of that sample so that you can use it to create sounds that match the color or theme of your song. It's a very good tool for songwriting, I found. So I just mocked up this 8-bar loop. It sounds like this. So it's not that much going on. We have some pretty basic drums. We have a couple little bleep loops in the background. And then we have the sub, which I'm not going to talk about. It's extremely convoluted, but my next video is probably going to be about that. As you can see, it wobbles a lot and it sounds cool. So stay tuned. And then we have the melody here, which this is just a harmor patch. I just took a preset and then modified it a little bit to be more plucky. Before it sounded like this. And then yeah. So I made this, by the way. I just drew an entire minor scale. Just filled the entire scale, turn on an arpeggiator. So this is all I did. And I just recorded all those notes into MIDI, and then I went through it and then rewrote some stuff. So like this little motif here. Oh, wait, I have to turn off the arpeggiator. That was artificially generated, and then I used that to generate most of the rest of the melody. And then over here, some vibrato turns on through harmor, which you can see through the little sperm-looking frequencies. So that's fun. All right, so let's get into the meat of it. What we're going to want to do is I want to make some more sounds that are based on just the melody that's going on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sample and record these sounds so you get to listen to it again. Okay, so now we have this whole big chunk, and you can do all sorts of stuff just with audio alone. You can stretch it out and repitch it. You can reverse it. I mean, that's already fucking dope. I'm definitely saving that. And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna make a MIDI track, and then you're just gonna throw the entire sample into the MIDI track and make a sampler, right? Now, when you click on slice mode, it's going to cut it up into a bunch of little slices, usually organized by transient. You can change it to be cut up by beat. It depends on the sound that you're working for. And then we're going to make big old MIDI. And then what we're going to do is when it's in slice mode, basically every note that you play is going to trigger a different little slice sample. It's going to play only that little slice. And for whatever reason, it starts at C1. So you're going to go down to C1. You're going to draw your little MIDI note, and then you're going to draw a bunch of other MIDI notes all the way above it. We're just going to make a gigantic, massive chord. And so at this point, you can just highlight all of them, copy, paste, shift it up, do that a few times. So now we have a massive chord, and then we're going to hit legato, fill the entire damn screen, right? But once you're at this point, you take an arpeggiator, and then since we made a gigantic chord, it's going to arpeggiate through the gigantic chord and play each of the samples. Right, so, and here you put it on random. So you can use this for like drums and shit too. You just throw a bunch of percussion in here. consolidate it into a big clip, throw it in here, and then it'll spit out crazy percussion that you would never dream of programming yourself. So we have this, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to fuck with it, make it pretty glitchy. So we're going to hit warp, set it on beats mode, and then ×2 to stretch it out. Let's slow down the rate so that you can hear it glitch for a little bit. Slow down more. And so, I mean, you could already start resampling some of that and using that alone. But next thing you're going to do is you're going to get the, where are ya? Formant Max for Live plugin. I don't think this comes with Live, but it's free, so I'll have a link in the description. But basically, you just set it to, I like using the child one because there's more formants in it for whatever reason. So you can get more sounds, but you can navigate through all of them. There's a bunch of different sounds and they have different flavors and whatnot. So I'm going to make the formant. So that's cool. And then let's take some LFOs and make a group with the LFO. And then we're gonna map some of the parameters to it. Smoothing. Why not? Why not all of these? Right now. Oh wait. Set it on random. And duplicate. Okay, we have a few random LFOs, and now let's just plug them in to different stuff. And then what you can do then is you can transpose the sample up a lot. Since it's on beats mode and warp mode, when it's on beats mode, what it does is it plays forward until it can't play forward anymore at that pitch, and then it reverses it. And so if you stretch it out a bunch, it's going to start reversing and playing forward a bunch. And then if you pitch it upwards a lot, then it's going to do that a lot more because the sample is shorter because it's pitched higher, right? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to record the high pitch sample, and then we're going to end up slowing it down afterwards because it's going to sound more glitchy. So alright, so there's a bunch of stuff right there. And then let's stretch it out, repitch it. And then let's compress it. I like to use the flatline multiband compression preset. So there's some cool sounds in there. So then from here, what you can do is you can do damn near the same thing. Put it into a sampler, set it on slice mode, draw some MIDI. This time you can start placing the notes yourself. And then you can start fucking with the pitching. And then you can start just adding this to the song that you had before, and it's going to fit in because it's made out of the same thing as your melody. That's a little too loud. Or you can just make this a B section, actually, like how this sounds right now. And then you have a whole fucking B section. But you can also put the LFO and then attach it to the transpose knob, and it's gonna also go crazy. And you can start recording this and making sounds. I would just say the downside of this is it's a lot harder to use for songwriting in this case, because the shit's just getting pitched like all over, and it's not gonna make sense with what you had written. But it's still good for making sounds. So what you can do at this point, you can go over to the track name, rename it to something like Paliac Formant Sound Generator. Make sure you put Paliac in there so that we can build start working on that parasocial relationship. And then you just go to your user library, and then you just drag this into like a sound generator thing. And then you can just put this in any project file you want, throw any sample in here, and then it's just going to start spitting out sounds. And then you can start using it, cutting them up, and it just improves your workflow a lot. And I felt like I didn't make enough cool sounds, so I'm just going to show some other capabilities of it besides just, you know, chopping up a melodic sample. So you can just take the sound generator, you can just throw it in your project file. It's that easy. It's already made now that you made it once. Let's go to samples and find some drums. Sure, let's do that. Let's resample this. Stretch this out more. So this on the two forward arrows, so instead of going backwards and forwards, it only goes forward. So there's some cool sounds in here. So like, let's just like layer it with the actual drum break we used. Like double time, this is like break beats. I really like that. So it's nothing. Except now this part needs to be something different, right? And again, you could throw fucking anything in here. So let's go to Glitch with Friends, which is just one of the best free sample packs out there, I think, especially for like this genre. Okay. Big idea. Instead of thinking about it, let's just highlight a ton of samples all at once. Throw them here, and then you can consolidate all of them with Control J. And then you throw all the samples at once in here, and then we just don't have to think about sampling, right? So now, let's lower the rate. Let me take some bits right there. You can reverse them. I think you get the point now. Also, obviously, there's a lot more that you can do with this other than literally just using a formant. You can use delays to like pitch it upwards and downwards. You can put entire pitch shifters on here and then have LFOs going on them. You can put vocoders on here going into randomly generated melodies or something. The possibilities are really endless with what you can do, and using arpeggiators spitting out sample chunks is invaluable because then you can resample anything in an extremely large amount of ways very quickly. So yeah, I hope that was helpful.